Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Cobb, and you're listening to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Social Suplex Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
Hello and thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. My name is Clive. I had said that we would be joined by Ricky for his triumphant return this week. He will make his return tonight. He's going to do a run-in of some sorts in the very near future, but he's otherwise engaged. However, I do not want to keep my guest waiting much longer. Before I introduce the guest, there's the way that the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show has went over the last few months. There's been questions about where we stand in terms of our priorities and our preferences and our bias with a certain other company coming along and doing their stuff, planting the flags and stuff. So I thought it would be time for a new intro for the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show going forward, just to show where we stand. And it's been debuted tonight, so without further ado, presenting to you the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Oh, I ruined it. Hold on. Where is it? It's disappeared, everyone.
The magic of podcasting.
Oh no, it's gone. I'm not even going to edit this out.
Please don't, because this is gold.
By the way, in case you hadn't realised, Rance Morris from Chairshot Radio, welcome. Welcome.
What's good, man? By the way, I'm not a guest no more, bro. Like, I got a room in the house now.
You are the friend on the T-shirt.
I like to think that, yes.
Speaking of T-shirts, shout out to Kathy67, who during this week's Daniel Bryan promo was spotted in the crowd wearing a Ricky and Clive shirt. So good girl there. Thank you very much. I'm just trying to buy time because I've botched this big time, and it's going to have no effect whatsoever.
That's okay. Look, it's because I'm an instrument of chaos. Like, this is hilarious to me.
Oh, I'm glad you're laughing. Right, you ready? The brand new intro finally here. Oh my God!
If you guys could see his face right now. Oh, I beg that you don't cut this. I beg. Like, let's get 15 minutes of this and see how loyal everybody is.
By this time, Ricky will have arrived.
Oh my goodness. Oh, now you know how I feel when I have my computer problems.
This is just fun.
So those of you listening, the people, whenever you don't get an edge, 9 times out of 10 is because my computer conked out on me. So there you go.
Well, I'll blame my phone on this one, but it's ready. I think. Right, please work. I've been wanting to do that for months.
So that means you work for Ring of Honor, right?
We are an official Ring of Honor podcast.
So the show's going to be 15 minutes.
Yep. Well, the somewhat comedic effect of that just died about 3 minutes ago.
Hey, that is the most epic opening of the Ricky and Clive, or until he shows up, the Rance and Clive wrestling show, I think we've ever heard. So, hey, there you go.
Yep. So, how are you tonight, Ray Cash? You've had a busy week over in Chairshot.
Yeah, man, I'm doing dailies. I said I'm on vacation from work, but apparently I'm not on vacation from my other work, which is podcasting. So yeah, I'm doing dailies in Chair Shot. I've been co-hosting other shows. I have this show. Still got my show. So yeah, it's a lot going on, but it's been a hell of a week of wrestling. It's been worth it.
It has been quite a week of wrestling, and we'll talk about the meat of it all with Ricky when he comes on. It shouldn't be too much longer. His car has just arrived outside the arena, as far as I'm aware.
Oh snap! Did he get the slow motion?
It was a limo.
Slow motion pull up.
And it was a limo as well, and Sarah Schreiber's looking for him as we speak.
Oh, that's great.
So we'll talk about NXT Takeover Toronto. We'll talk about SummerSlam, but for the next couple of minutes, Rance and I have been avid fans of a certain Australian wrestler over the last year and change, basically. Made a name for himself in 205 Live as the best kept secret, and then the Juggernaut. And he had remained a secret on SmackDown Live for many months until he was, how would you say,
thrust into the spot.
The spotlight has been shown on him, and it's a 1,000-watt bulb, and he's ginger, so that might burn quite quickly.
Good point.
We're talking about Buddy Murphy, who has not been implicated, but has implicated Eric Rowan in the Whodunit with Roman Reigns. As a result, he had a match with Roman Reigns this week, and Rance and I were terribly, terribly excited about this one.
Oh, man.
And I would say it delivered in spades.
When a match happens on TV, not a pay-per-view match, or just like a TV match happens, and it's trending on Twitter the next day, like, like something happened there. That was a moment. That was a real moment, because number one, there's still this crazy subsection out here that believes Roman can't work, which is ridiculous in its own right. And then two, you're 205 Clive. I'm the dude that watches everything in WWE. So we knew. I've been singing Murphy's praises since he was languishing in NXT. You've been singing them since he got called 205. So we've been on this bandwagon for a while now. But a lot of people don't even know who he is. So his first kind of entrance to a massive crowd after getting, the tar beat out of him by Roman Reigns backstage was this man out here working a 13-minute masterpiece. So yeah, I felt like a proud father watching that shit. He's older than me, but I felt like I'm older than him, but I still felt like a proud father.
See, it felt special, might be a strong word, but it's not every day that Roman Reigns just wrestles a random.
But this wasn't a random, though. I know his spot on the card is, but the story made sense. Like, this match could have been on SummerSlam. Nobody would have batted an eye.
At the time of recording, that has had 1.4 million views on YouTube.
That's amazing.
So that's a big spotlight for him.
Becky Lynch promos don't get 1 million views.
Shelton Benjamin calls Chad Gable short, got 54,000 views.
I'm shocked he got that many.
So am I. And it looks like Daniel Bryan is going to have a match at some. I know you've got Buddy Murphy in the King of the Ring tournament, which we'll talk about at some point in the future. But Daniel Bryan was literally right in Buddy Murphy's face this week, where Buddy Murphy says that it wasn't actually Rowan and he lied about it. Do you have any ideas who you think it will be? And do you think it was actually Buddy Murphy?
Well, okay, so I'm gonna remind you of a text conversation we had right after this happened. And just so for those of you who don't know, friends.
Say that again. You cut out there, sorry.
Yeah, I saw. I'm sorry. For those of you who don't know, we have a big text group between a bunch of our friends, but me and Brian text a lot often just between me and him. And I told him, dog, it's Buddy Murphy. And he was like, don't get me excited. Don't do that to me. Don't give me hope.
Uh-huh.
If it turns out that Buddy really did this, that, like, talk about the push of a lifetime.
I know.
Or it still could be Joe. Like, I'm hoping it's Rollins, but that won't be. There's no way that can be told for like another 2-3 months.
Yeah, I don't see it being Rollins because it seems like he's got something going on with Braun Strowman right now. So we're led to believe that the culprit will be revealed next week by Daniel Bryan, who has cut a very sleazy and manic figure this week, both at the kickoff show where he's sort of rocking back and forth watching the TV screen, and then he's got this slicked down hair. He looked horrendous this week. He looked ill.
He looks like, and forgive my morbidity, I believe that's a word, maybe not over there in Scotland, but I think it's a word. But he is making himself look like a mixture of Kurt Cobain and David Koresh. And
yep.
Think about it. Think of those two figures and their cult-like appeal, and mix it together. And like his eyes are bulging out, and it almost looks like he's skinnier at the neck. And he's in great shape. He's fine. But this is how tremendous of a performer this dude is. And he's killing it so much to the point where he's almost a little scary.
Uh-huh.
How whacked out he is, you know? And by the way, it's Daniel Bryan. So, and it's supervillain Daniel Bryan, right?
Yeah.
So, for all we know, he could be lying too.
I know. He could be. What
if it's Luke Harper?
It's possible. It is possible.
It'd be an interesting way to get Harper back on TV. Now, I'm sure Harper is the one that drove the car, did the pushing, but, you know, never bad to see Harper on TV.
Maybe it was Rikishi.
Who did he do it for this time? He didn't do it for his people.
I don't know. Ricky, do you have any ideas?
Oh, hey, Ricky. Hey.
Is that my introduction to the podcast?
I'm afraid so, sir.
Reunited and it feels so good.
Next time you should do a better job of introducing me.
Well, you should have heard the introduction at the start. It was as
epic.
It was as well worked as a Bailey Ember Moon match, put it that way.
So it was a piece of shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's Harper.
See, it's
Do you really?
Yes, and it won't be revealed next week. It won't be revealed, hopefully, for a little while down the line. And by that, I don't mean like a couple of weeks. But I'm not entirely sure how you... I'm not sure how you would keep it going, like keep the intrigue going, but... It's not... right, so put it this way. If it turns out to be Harper, I would like to see Roman having to go through Eric Rowan first up, then having to go through Luke Harper to ultimately face Daniel Bryan. Now, is WrestleMania too far away to carry this storyline out? Maybe.
I'd say
But
so.
What about the Royal Rumble? But again, is that too far out?
Survivor Series.
Yeah, I almost say I just don't include Survivor Series because I can't remember the last time I had a match which wasn't quote unquote brand supremacy.
The fan and the not the fan, but what was his name? The Brock, was it AJ match last year? Oh no, never mind. That was and Bryan match was last year, but that was still Raw vs SmackDown. You're right. I'm sorry.
So I can't remember when the last time it was. And I'm all for kind of making the quote-unquote smaller pay-per-views seem bigger. But sometimes there's just certain matches that belong on certain pay-per-views. Like I never had like a massive problem, for instance, with Cena and Roman being on whatever pay-per-view that was.
No mercy.
And a part of me did have a problem with it because it really is a WrestleMania main event. But again, I don't have that massive of a problem that you put sort of marquee matchups on these smaller pay-per-views just to focus on them more and bring more attention to it. But yeah, my guess is Harper. But eventually it leads to Roman versus Daniel Bryan.
Somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I think so. It has to. It kind of like we're kind of being teased with it. I know what's happened before, etc., but not in this. Not with the current dynamics. Not with a heel Daniel Bryan. Because last time it was kind of face versus face.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the real problem with the whole story. Buddy told Roman it was Rowan a full week ago, right?
Yep.
Roman ain't hit him up all week. Like he waited till the end of SmackDown to go get at him. Like come on, bro. You got about car.
The thing is, like, the good thing about it, or how you can flip it, or Roman can come back and say, "I don't believe," when Buddy says, "No, I lied." Because Daniel Bryan's backstage promo, for anyone that didn't see it, basically, I can't remember who done the interview, but he was like, if I get in your face and I start threatening you, you're going to tell me what I want to hear just because of fear. And that's exactly what Daniel Bryan done to Buddy Murphy. He got in his face, threatened him, and ultimately had Buddy Murphy admit that, no, okay, fine, I agree with you, I was lying, kind of thing. So
I hear you, but what I'm saying is, that happened last Tuesday when Buddy said it was Rowan. If I'm Roman, I'm flying to Aberdeen or Phoenix or wherever the hell they live. Bro, what's up? Like,
well,
you know what I'm saying?
See, before the main event on SmackDown last night, Roman asked a random guy, "Where is Daniel Bryan's dressing room?" And the guy pointed him in that direction. He headed in that direction, and then we had the main event match. Then Roman appeared in the dressing room. Is he a slow walker or something? Or is it a really big arena?
I'm saying, bro. Like, it was a full week between...
Maybe he wasn't in the locker room at that point and Roman left to go look for him again and then went back to the locker room.
I think Roman went to get a beverage.
Well, what kind?
A tasty beverage. Well, he was still at work, so probably with water, but, you know...
I would say he should have got an Iron Brew, Scotland's national drink.
Speaking of that, is that what you're drinking, Clive?
Yep. And so's Ricky.
I thought so.
We're no longer sponsored by Pepsi Max.
We got Rob to try it, and Rob said he loved it, and we got Sir Sam from Laws of Pain. We told him, and he went out and found it and said it was absolutely wonderful.
And I know he was in love with that stuff.
And he probably got the full fat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let Rob lie to you. Rob tells you that he's from Virginia and lived in Georgia. Rob is Scottish because there's no way he knows all the Scottish stuff and he's not from there. There's no way.
I know.
What have you spoken about so far, sorry?
Just Buddy Murphy, basically.
You spoke about Buddy Murphy for 15 minutes?
Damn right.
Not long enough.
Damn
Ricky.
right.
Not long enough. No, we spoke about his match and the whodunit, so I know we're kind of working backwards. So we were singing the praises of Buddy Murphy's performance, and there was a theme for me with the Monday and Tuesday night offerings in that the matches that took place on Raw and SmackDown, personally, I preferred them to a large number of the matches on SummerSlam. It felt as if Andrade and Mysterio, Cedric and Drew McIntyre, which was shocked the living daylights out of me, and Buddy Murphy and Roman Reigns. It's as if these guys weren't on SummerSlam, so we're going to send a message to management that we should have been on.
Well, Andrade and Mysterio can't have a bad match together.
I know.
So we know that. You know, I could sit and watch a 3-hour wrestling match between them two. But But yeah, I agree with Cedric and Drew was really surprising, really, really good. I haven't gotten round to watching Buddy Murphy and Roman.
What? What?
Yeah. So I've heard good things about it. I've saw little snippets of SmackDown. I saw Raw and obviously NXT and SummerSlam. I watched the G1 finals as well.
By the way, I just did a show on that last night, so...
Cheap plug.
Yeah. Ha
I also managed to praise myself or get Jeremy to praise me on Keeping It Strong style last night as well. I basically sent him a message saying I would like you to read this out on air, and it was basically just me being Christian and praising myself, putting myself over.
Not get much to add there. So, Rance, I'll ask you, Buddy Murphy or Cedric Alexander, who impressed you more?
Murphy.
I want to say that for obvious reasons, because I've been a big fan of Murphy. But Cedric Alexander and Drew McIntyre, that was crazy stuff, that.
Well, let me tell you why Cedric didn't shock me. Cedric has been on TV, on Raw TV, a lot longer than Murphy. Cedric has been utilized in numerous ways. So the crowd knows him. The crowd knows he can wrestle. And this isn't his first time wrestling Drew McIntyre on TV.
True. That's true.
Right? Buddy Murphy has made 2 appearances on SmackDown since WrestleMania. One was a promo, and the promo he cut when they had the town hall or whatever it was, and then he got his ass beat by Roman, and then matched, and he has a match of the year. That's pressure. That is now talent wise cool, but the spot he did it in, that's pressure, and so like that's more impressive to me.
That's fair. I can accept that. I just think for taking each match as they're presented to you, taking away all those variables, I would say the Monday night match was better. But I can accept your answer easily.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched Buddy Murphy and Roman, but I've read a few things about it on Twitter where some people are saying that, well, look at Buddy Murphy carried Roman, yet another person carrying Roman, and it looks like we're going to start defending Roman here, but correct me if I'm wrong, right? But isn't the premise of being a big time star, right? If you're a big time superstar like Roman, why would you be carrying a match? The whole idea would be that you would get the guy who's unappreciated or quote unquote undervalued or whatever. The idea would be you would have him lead the match, you would have him kind of call the match, you would have him getting the majority of the spotlight to put him over. Isn't that the premise of, like you said, a superstar wrestler going up against someone who isn't as well known? So the idea is to get Buddy over with the crowd. Because what benefit are we going to get that Roman dominates or Roman works from top?
Well, you're looking at it from 2 different perspectives. So if you're talking about leading the match, that's the one person in the ring. Very rarely do you have 2 amazingly talented performers who just call it. Yep. Oftentimes, one person leads, and so because a lot of people don't respect Roman's in-ring ability, people thought, well, the match was good, so he couldn't have led it, and that's bullshit. The second part of what you just said is that from a superstar perspective, Roman is one of the most intriguing top guys from this perspective. He's never, ever been afraid to give back. Austin would not lose a match on Raw. Like, he had to be, like, shot in the face, right? You know, Hogan, if Hogan's still going to kick out at 2 right now if you pinned him if he was asleep. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the historical top stars refused to job. Like, it had to be under the most craziest pretenses. But Roman lost to Revival. Roman lost to Shane. Roman's been beat by a bunch of... Roman lost to Finn first night on the damn job. Roman is willing to put over other people. And more than just losing, Roman always, and no matter what match he's in, whether it's against the last guy on the roster or the top guy on the roster, always makes the other guy look good. He's not afraid to give spotlight. So from that perspective, yes, a superstar should let that person get some shine. Think about the old Rock Hurricane matches. Rock didn't have to let Hurricane have a damn thing, but Rock let Hurricane almost beat him, and at the time that made him. Hurricane was a made man from that point because The Rock allowed his spotlight to shine. Buddy Murphy's made now. Now, what they do with him is a big conversation, but at least people know who he is, what he can do, and that's all because Roman put him over in the ring, and put him over after the match, and put him over on Twitter. So
I wonder if Roman Reigns had a word in his ear by The Rock, because throughout his career, The Rock put over more people than Kane in the 2001 Royal Rumble over the top rope. Maybe an Anoa'i thing, perhaps.
Well, I mean, if you notice, you tend to notice, and even Randy Orton, to an extent, is like this too, even though he's a bit of a head case. But these people who have been in the business their whole lives, the Rotunda brothers, Bo and Bray, like, they've been in this business forever. They grew up in this business. You know what I mean? So they understand the merit of, I can't get over if I'm not wrestling somebody who's over. So I could be the most over person in the world, but if I'm not working with somebody who's not over, then it doesn't do anything for me. So if I can bring him up to my level, then I'm gonna get more over on it. It's almost that same sense of like when you're in a marriage that both of you guys are married. Sometimes you have to step back and you have to give to realize I'm getting what I want. You have to be selfless to get selfish.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it's
yes.
the same thing.
Preach.
Hey.
We have spent quite a lot talking about Buddy Murphy, and it wasn't intentional, but last thing about this was one of my highlights of the whole weekend was when Rowan attacked Murphy at the kickoff show. Someone in the crowd said, "Snitches get stitches."
They're doing that on Twitter. Every time something happens, they call him a snitch now. That's the new nickname.
Snitch Murphy. Right, so now that all three of us are together, as we've went a bit backwards waiting for your triumphant return, Ricky, we'll talk some Takeover and SummerSlam then.
Yep.
So, as you both know, I was mild distracted, to say the least, with both these shows. Some family emergencies in the form of broken legs and industrial strength tonsillitis here and there with people. I was otherwise engaged mentally, so I didn't really. It would be unfair of me to set my opinion in stone with regards to both of these nights, so I'll leave quite a lot of it to you. However, if I do have something I want to say, I will chip in. So, Ricky, you were a big fan of Takeover this month, weren't you? Give us your thoughts.
First and foremost, Takeover never fails to deliver. Favourite match was Candice and Io Shirai. Oh, it was a fucking really, really good match. Just please feature Candice a bit more, please. I think she's terrific, but yeah, this was my favourite match of the night, and by far. But I think it was the same again. Like 4 like really good or great matches in one kind of solid match. The triple threat match I quite enjoyed. The tag match I felt was good as well. Really good. I enjoyed the last sort of 5-10 minutes of that. I think with Bobby Fish being out for so long, I think people have kind of forgotten that we saw Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy Strong, and they were great together. And I think everyone kind of forgot just how great Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish were together. Really enjoyed that match. Like I said, Io Shirai and Candice. Shayna and Mia Yim. For me, the great thing about this match was Shayna done it on her own.
Yep.
For a period, not just for a period, for quite a long time, for several matches, she was kind of getting help from her two henchwomen, and this time she'd done it on her own. We're going back to Shayna from like a year or so ago, where she was just mowing down everybody and doing it on her own. The main event, we kind of, again, in the space of about the ending of the first fall, just kind of sums up Johnny Gargano's state of mind at the moment. Like, why would you hit him with a steel chair, you give him the first fall, and then you proceed to take it into the crowd? Like, shouldn't you beat the living shit out of him with the chair? He gets the first fall, then you just pin him immediately. Like, so what? It could have backfired on him. I would say I did enjoy that match. I did. Similar to the first match. Sorry, the first 2 out of 3 falls they had. It's borderline too much at times for me when it comes to Gargano. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand this is Gargano's NXT career, that kind of like it's almost impossible to kind of put him away, and he can power out of anything, and etc., and there's so much fight in him and stuff. But sometimes it kind of becomes like, right, you're kind of now insulting my intelligence. Bizarrely,
that match was the least offensive out of the 3 of them for me, despite the... I would probably agree with that, but it was still some aspects of it I just didn't like. But the most offensive thing about it all was that final fall in the last match. Sorry, in the first match, where Gargano kicked out of like high finish after high spot after big time manoeuvre. It was like there's kind of like pushing the boundary, and sometimes there's just going like way over the mark. Right, there was a bit where Adam Cole kicked out of a Avalanche Canadian Destroyer. I'm thinking, come on, I mean that should kill someone, and you're kicking out of it. Even the spot to end it for the final fall was that could have gone wrong. I know. I was when you go, Rance.
I was gonna say it did go wrong. They missed one of the tables.
That's true. Yeah.
So like someone could have been serious hard, but yeah, like I think I know we kind of spoke about it in our WhatsApp group, but like it was maybe not as strong as some other takeovers. And I know I would probably agree with that, but it's still like a top sort of 8 to 10 takeover, I think. And the bar's so high, and when they don't meet it, like I think you notice it a little bit more. I know, but I still enjoyed the show. That's what happens. You have so many outstanding takeovers in a row that there's bound to be one law of averages that doesn't deliver as much as the previous ones, and I think this was what happened at the weekend. It was nothing truly stand out for me. I enjoyed most of them. What I liked about the tag team match, apart from Kyle O'Reilly saying on Twitter it was the worst screw job since Montreal '97, was that Montez Ford he's the big star out of Street Profits, but Angelo Dawkins has played pivotal role in both winning the tag titles and retaining them, and it's good to see that there is an equality between the two when it comes to how much they're valued. So they surprised me in a good way this Saturday. The Candice LeRae Io Shirai match, I didn't notice much from Candice LeRae to impress me, but I did notice a lot from Io Shirai that impressed me. I thought she was fantastic. The other women's match was my favourite of the night. This was met by a weird crowd reaction, but I don't know if it was speaker problems or the acoustics of the arena, but there were lots of moments of that show where the crowd just sounded dead to me, and I think that might be playing into why I wasn't as invested. I mean, it sounded like Lafayette at some points with how just indifferent it sounded. Did anyone else get that? To be fair, that could have been like issues with the connection or some sort of problem with the network. Oh, don't start me on that bloody network. That update that's dreadful. awful.
Works great for me.
Ah, well done. That's because you're a Fed Defence Squad all the way, and you're getting the perks of a really good network.
Well, I'm Fed Defense Squad. I am an honorary McMahon, and I'm a Yank. So,
yeah.
I think, like, for me, it's not so much the actual connection to it, but just, like, being able to, like, every single time I would go in to watch it, it would just start at random times, and whenever I try to put it back to the beginning, it was something that skipped to another match. It's just, not a fan of it.
No. Back to the Mia Yim match. Although this wasn't as received as well as others, Mia Yim continues to impress me in a really big way. I thought the story they told in that match was really clever. That Mia Yim had an answer for almost everything that Shayna Baszler gave her way. She was on top for quite a lot of the match and was not phased. And it just, I think there's a wise head on those young shoulders, and I think they've got a really good wrestler, a good performing, like a sort of storyteller for the future.
Did you see Matt Riddle in Mia Yim's entourage?
Oh, was that Riddle?
I don't know if it's been confirmed, but it looks like him. At the very end, he was the one down on his knee.
Right.
I'm almost certain it was him.
I don't know, man, because Matt Riddle has no rhythm, and they were on rhythm, so I don't know.
What were your thoughts on the takeover, Rance?
I love the match between Cesaro and Aleister Black. That really did a lot for me. I love the kick that I'm playing. So I am probably the NXT mark of the three of us. The show was really good. I enjoyed it, but you guys kind of alluded to the fact that it felt off based on the blistering pace that they set. So that doesn't mean that it was bad. It just means when you have a 10 and a 10 and a 10 and a 10 and a 10, and you get an 8.5, the 8.5 looks bad. When really the 8.5 is better than everything else. It's just not a 10. It's interesting to hear you talk about the Mia Yim Shayna Baszler match, and y'all know I'm Mrs. Yim. I am Mia's wife. Y'all know that. Mia, that's my girl. I love her, but she didn't step up to me.
Really?
That match was bad. I didn't enjoy it. And so one of the reasons was, and again, everything you said everything right. It's just I feel the opposite. Because you said you loved the story they told, that Mia had a response to everything, right? That was a very well and cleverly told story in that. But the problem was, it made Mia look like the heel and Shayna look like the babyface. Mia jumped all her friends. Shayna came out by herself. Mia came out, and every time Shayna put her in the hold, she poked her eye. She grabbed her hair. She stomped on her foot. And now, mind you, the story was that I have a counter to everything you're doing. You've never had to fight under my pretenses. So I got that. It made her look bad to me because it didn't make her look clever. It made her look like a cheater. And then they just didn't have the chemistry I expected them to have. And maybe it's because I went in with heavy expectations, knowing Mia and Shayna, and feeling as strongly as I do about both of them, and knowing that they live together. So they probably had all the time in the world to talk about this and work it out. It just didn't hit for me, which is okay. It happens. And I think another thing that hurt it, which may be the real reason that every takeover has one women's match and not two, Candice and Io blew them out the water. Nobody could match what Candice and Io did that night. That was the best match of the night. They blew them out the water. Io Shirai might be the best wrestler in the company right now in NXT. What she did in that match, and Candice is amazing. Io carried Candice. She put her on her shoulder and drug her through the burning sands of the Sahara Desert through that match.
I would agree. I think that's why. I think she made Candice look really inferior in comparison. She
did, and so Candice is a Gargano. So, you know, by nature, they're going to play underneath and do the babyface fire and whatnot. I thought it was really dope that Io threw everything at her. And Candice kicked out of everything. And finally, Io, if you notice, and thanks to Darren Kirkby Maggs for pointing this out to me, Io's turning into the very thing she hated. Io's turning into Shayna Baszler.
Right.
Think about it. She's starting to dress like Shayna now. She's being mean like Shayna now. And then when she couldn't beat her with her moves, what did she do? She choked her out.
Uh-huh. That's a good point. And there's before I make this point, I've got one question for you. Do you think the Mia Yim match, it didn't come across as a breakout performance from Mia Yim? It came across as an established performance, as if she'd been doing this on pay-per-views for a long time. It didn't have that "I'm here to make a statement" feel about it.
That's a good question. I'll put it like this. I want to say it was the last Takeover. Mia Yim had a match on the pre-show that shows on Wednesday against Bianca Belair. That match did more for her than this one did.
Probably.
And a big part of the problem is Toronto just wasn't behind her. And
Mia and Shayna had a really good match on TV a few months ago.
Absolutely, where she tapped her shoulder and all that, and that was an excellent match. That was different because that one had pacing. That one had a back and forth rapport. This one, and I'm all for that gritty mat wrestling, hold for hold type style. It just didn't. I don't think it hit. And you know what, man? Sometimes when they throw the ball down the lane, you know, sometimes you hit a home run, sometimes you hit a single, sometimes you strike out. It's okay. Mia's still great. She still deserves to be where she is. But I don't think they're going to go back with Mia and Shayna anytime because Mooch hit it perfectly. She did it without the cronies. She choked her out with her thigh. Like,
Talk
bro,
class.
you know how vicious you got to be to choke somebody out with your legs?
I worry about the women's division in NXT, though. It just, I don't know, it seems as if it's not heel heavy, but the heels are running the show, and the women are not, the faces aren't getting any leeway at all. What do you think, Ricky?
They got some good babies. Candice is a great baby. Bianca, if they ever give her the ball again, is a good baby. Mia Yim is a good baby. Casey has a lot of potential because she's itty bitty. They just signed Santana Garrett. Everybody knows that Santana was number one in the PWI a couple years ago. So they got some possibilities. And here's one for you that you'll like, Brian, because this is your favorite person right now, NXT UK. Don't be surprised if they bring Tony back to proper NXT.
I think we could handle that loss.
Yes.
Will you sacrifice for the good of NXT?
If it means Kaylee Ray ends up the women's champion, most deaf.
Well, look who we've got. We've got Kaylee Ray, we've got Viper, we've got Rhea Ripley, Jazzy, who else? There's a couple of other ones as well.
Jazzy, Jenny.
Yeah, so there's a few there. I think we can handle that loss.
Millie McKenzie.
Millie, Lozaya.
Do you know, I've seen her improve week by week.
By the way, I think Kaylee Ray's winning at TakeOver.
Thank you. Good answer.
For the record. It just feels right.
Did you see, I kind of had it spoiled, well, it's not really spoiled, but anyway, who the Joe Coffey match as well at TakeOver?
No, I don't know yet.
Right, okay, I'll not say anything.
Is it who we think it is?
Clive, you can take your headphones off if you want, and I can tell Rance.
Well, no, we'll talk about it to the show. Yep. I don't want to spoil it for Brian, but
That's
Brian,
right.
we already have an idea of what we think it's going to be.
Considering how it ended last week, I have an idea.
Yep.
Oh, you dancer, I'm so happy about that. That's made my day.
I wish I got tickets for it now.
Mm-hmm.
A Armageddon Hell in a Cell match. Joe Coffey, Dave Mastiff, Keith Lee, Dijakovic, Damian Priest, and somebody got to be the chicken shit. So put Cocaine Kona Reeves in. Make the money.
Joe Coffey goes over.
Obviously.
Well, I mean, because he's Gallus. He's more Gallus than everybody else.
Exactly. Shall we move on to SummerSlam?
Yep. One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although I was a bit disappointed in the match because I hyped it up far too much myself, Velveteen Dream has quietly turned into quite a good run with the North American title. He's put in some good victories and he's holding it strong, so hats off to you, Mr. Dream, or the Mountie.
But by the way, I'm glad you mentioned that match. I know I'm never negative about NXT, and I know I'm sounding negative, but I expected so much more from that match with those three, especially with Roddy and Pete Dunne.
So did I.
Is it just me?
No, I wanted more, but I hyped it up far too much for myself. I still enjoyed the match.
I think I'm kind of in between it. I think it was still a really, really good match. Maybe not to the level I was expecting and hoping. But that's not to say it wasn't a good match.
Mm-hmm. It was good. Like, no match was if I'm rating from 1 to 10, if I'm playing Uncle Dave today, and I'm rating 1 through 10, like, no match was worse than a 6.5, 7. It's just I'm used to seeing 10, 10, 9, 10, 10, 9, 9.5, 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd probably go say like 4, 4.25, 4.5. Maybe a 4, and then maybe another 4.25, and then Mia Yim and Shayna Baszler being like a solid 3.
Out of 5, I'm guessing.
Out of
5.
Okay.
Right.
Because the scale doesn't go any higher than 5s.
Well,
shout out to Caleb for that.
Did you not see the tweet that Dave put out the other day? He said that 5 stars in Japan is equivalent to 3.5 stars in America. In WWE, so there is a conversion rate for star ratings now.
I don't even know what that means. It's just honestly, he's not well.
Oh boy!
I think he's got that.
I don't get it either, bro.
Peri-Saturn disease.
You're welcome.
Brian Alvarez is moppy.
So who's Raven? Who's gonna put him in the wood chipper?
Brad Shepherd.
Maybe because I'm tired, but that kind of makes sense to me.
Yep. It's a good analogy. Instead of shouting, you're
no, I mean,
welcome.
like the 5 stars in New Japan is a 3.5 star in WWE.
That's just because you're a New Japan mark now.
That's
yeah. Keeping it Scottish style.
Right. SummerSlam, Ricky. What do you want to say about it?
At first, I thought it was going to be a 4.5 hour show. I was kind of anticipating waiting up till like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Normally, like for instance, like some of the bigger shows, are like I said, longer shows, like WrestleMania normally starts off really, really hot, and then it kind of calms down, dives down a little. I don't know if that's because of fatigue or tiredness or what. And then it might pick up. I felt this was the other way around. I felt Natalya and Becky Lynch was a solid, good opener. For me, then it there was a lull period, and I think from KO and Shane onwards, it picked up a lot. I think it was what was those last 5 matches were what KO, Shane, Charlotte and Trish, Kofi, Bray, and then Seth and Brock. Yeah. Those 5, like, I thought they were terrific. All of them really. I have 1 or 2 issues. I'll die when we start going into. Let's say Becky and I'm not a Goldberg. I say this when we were talking about it on WhatsApp during the show. Never have been. I like his spear, and I loved his entrance, and that was all. I didn't need to see that, but I understand a lot of people liked it, so be it. You could have potentially started the show off with that, but I don't know if that might have took a bit of shine off Natalia and Becky Lynch. Who did we have after that? Was it Bayley and Ember straight after that?
After Natty and Becky and then Goldberg. After Goldberg and Ziggler, I think it was Bayley and Ember. Yeah, I want to say.
I fell asleep at that point, and that's not me just trying to joke and say the match was bad. I was genuine. I was struggling to stay awake at this point. Just watched that. I probably didn't need it, to be honest. I wasn't a fan of it.
It was very disappointing.
Well, and like I say, it's because those two are every bit as good as any other female wrestler they've got. I think Ember's maybe got the prettiest finisher in the company. I think it was just stunning to look at. And then I thoroughly enjoyed KO Shane. I really, really enjoyed it, actually. I thought that was a pretty fun match. And then after that, they just matches I felt were really, really good. Charlotte and Trish I thought that was tremendous. Mm-hmm. I really did. I was very surprised if all was win. The way the Fiend, Bray, just pretty much dismantled Finn, other than one or two little attacks Finn had, was perfect. We can touch on his entrance later on, but yeah, it kind of started a little slow, and then it picked up quite considerably for me, and overall, yeah, I enjoyed it. But a couple of matches I won't go back and watch, but then I would say the last sort of 5 matches really ticked all the boxes for me.
What about you, Rance?
Well, I do want to talk. So I'll kind of go to the card in a quick summation, but I do want to talk to one point Moosh made about Bayley and Ember. But I think one thing I like about SummerSlam in general, and especially now that they've kind of revamped it a bit, I really love the pacing they make. They put matches on in spots that are weird and different. Like, who would have expected Goldberg to come out second? Like, that was a shock to me. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoy stuff like that because it makes the card feel fresh and new and different. So the pacing of the card, the booking of the card in from match order, I think was impeccable. The one interesting thing was it was a tremendously wrestled night. I think pretty much everybody who should have won. I think everything turned out the way that you probably hoped or wanted it to or expected, but it didn't feel big. The show didn't feel like a SummerSlam. It felt like a pay-per-view, but it didn't feel like a SummerSlam. There's no diss to anybody. It happens. But I'd much rather the show not feel like a SummerSlam and be really good than it feel like a SummerSlam and we end up disappointed. So I was cool with it. Seth and Brock was great, but Seth and Brock was great before in WrestleMania. So it's hilarious to me. People are saying, well, this reinvigorated my fandom. Did you not watch WrestleMania? It's the first damn match of the show. It was almost a carbon copy. Now Brock is out here working overtime to put Seth over. Give that man his props. Give him his flowers. Kofi and Randy, I would have liked to see it come to an actual fall, but I like that we have more to that. And you know Randy's vicious. You saw what he did to Steph when she was handcuffed. So him going after Kofi's wife and kids is really interesting to me. Charlotte and Trish basically showed every woman on that roster how to wrestle a big marquee match, especially when you've been gone for years. That was impeccable. And Charlotte had to slow down to keep up for Trish to keep up with her, but it was still really good. You can tell Trish still has the instincts. She might not have her body might not be the same, but she still has the instincts. The card was really good to me. I enjoyed seeing Goldberg mow through Dolph like a lawnmower. That was fun for me. Becky and Natty was even interesting to me, and that was the right call because that crowd needed to start that show off with the huge pop. Becky's arguably the biggest star. Bayley and Ember, Mooch, me and you have this conversation all the time. You're more of a great in-ring guy. I'm more of an entertainment guy. I think that match goes to my point that no matter how good they are in ring, no matter how good the match may be, if nobody cares, it don't matter. That match was bad because nobody cared. It was wrestled fine, but nobody gave a fuck. Bayley got booed. Nobody cared. Bayley got booed, and Ember didn't get anything. She didn't get a cheer or nothing. So they really need to give us a reason to care about the SmackDown Women's Championship, to care about Bayley as a champion, and to care about Ember as a character, because since she's caught up from NXT, we know she can wrestle, we know she got the great finisher, but who the fuck is Ember Moon? Who is she? And mind you, I've watched Ember and met her numerous times here in Houston at Raw, where she trained. But who is she in the WWE? What is her character? I don't know anything about her. So I don't have any reason to cheer for her, to cheer against her. I don't care that she can wrestle. Cool. There's 200 people on the roster. They all can wrestle. What can she give me? What is it about her? At least with Bayley, Bayley's a terrible talker. Right now, Bayley might be a little bit stale, but at the end of the day, you know Bayley gonna hug you and get those little girls involved. She has a redeeming quality. What does Ember have besides a bomb-ass finisher?
So, to touch on the kind of the differences where, like you say, you're more entertainment or character, and I give me great in-ring work. I know when you say people don't care, because a lot of people just genuinely don't care about any of them, especially Bayley. I always kind of think back to listening to a Bret Hart podcast. I don't know if he'd done it with Jericho. I want to say he'd done it with Austin. And it was kind of along the lines, he was like, one of the greatest matches I ever had was against the man we're not allowed to talk about, Benoit. And he said at the start of the match, you could literally see kind of like people sitting on their hands. And then he was like, by the end of it, like people were like at the edge of their seat. And he was like, that's how I think a great match goes. Like, people may not be interested, but you suddenly you pique their interest, and then you keep it throughout the entire match. For me, there was no reason for them not to produce like a really great match. I don't understand. Maybe their styles just didn't work well together. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I thought this title run would have like given Bayley like fresh impetus and kind of would have, I don't want to say redeem what's happened the last few years, but certainly a lot of people would have been like, right, well, now we've got a reason to kind of get behind and be invested in Bayley, but it never done it for me whatsoever. When we all knew, and I think we says it like when it was first announced the match, me and Clive says that the build is just going to be absolute shit. We know this. Neither of them can talk, neither of them can do it. Like, we accepted it was a terrible build. And I say it every time, I don't care, as long as the build is terrible, I can accept it as long as the match delivers it, and in this case it really didn't for me.
I think, Rance, you hit the nail on the head. I know I've said it once more that I was a bit distracted, so it wasn't at the forefront of my attention, but this didn't feel like a Big Four pay-per-view for me. At Bazd86, I'll steal some words from him, it wasn't a Big Four pay-per-view. Rance was saying it wasn't exactly off, it was just there for me.
Expect more.
There were two matches that stood out. One of them was Becky and Natalya. I loved that match. I thought that was excellent. Like, really, that got me in the mood straight away. The rest of it didn't do much for me. Personally, I thought the Charlotte Trish match was hard to watch. I wasn't interested.
You've made two statements tonight. It's made me kind of be like, just kind of taking it back a bit.
It really is interesting that you thought Mia Yim and Shayna was great, but you thought Charlotte and Trish wasn't good, and the exact opposite. It's interesting.
Charlotte and Trish was like the athletic Girl Scout helping the old woman across the road?
I think that's a bit exaggerative, but yes, I see your point. Because, like I said, Charlotte did have to slow down.
And it took me out of it because the pace was bad as a result. So I just thought that was an example of why I'm not a fan of having these old timers come back, because it hurts the quality. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought, get this over and done with. Oh, what else? I can't even think. That's how. And I was disappointed in how the AJ Ricochet match went. Not as much as others. I thought it was a story that was told, and Ricochet showed some excellent feats of athleticism, even with a peg leg. And they're going for the story just now where AJ, he's not interested in having a great match anymore. He's just got his stable guys to help him. There's been a few instances over the years where we've not had a good AJ match, or as good an AJ match as we would have wanted. Who's the common denominator in those matches?
The Club?
No.
Ricochet?
No, AJ. I'm talking...
Okay. I thought you were about to shit on Gallows Dennison, my bad.
No. It's just, so I wonder if it is AJ, like, he's dropping down a gear because of his age. He's not able to be as flamboyant a wrestler as he once was. But then,
I think he's running into that Shinsuke issue. That he gave too much too early.
But his match with Seth Rollins was really good a couple of months ago. So
I mean, even his first few matches with Ricochet were good, though.
I still enjoyed this one. I'd just rather we would have had a band on there. I think
the match on Sunday was more so of the kind of story and the direction it wanted to go in the match, as opposed to it showing signs of AJ really slowing down. Yeah, yes, of course there's a difference between AJ now than there was 2 or 3 years ago, but that's natural. But a lot of AJ's offense was targeting the body parts of Ricochet, like his legs, to prevent the high flying manoeuvre. So he was never going to have the kind of moves he was going to produce he wanted him to, because that's the direction it went into. But I do agree, I do think AJ isn't quite the force he was, but he's probably still better than 90% of the guys out there.
I know, and then
I think that's how great he actually was.
The counter from
even when he does have diminished skills, that he's still better than a hell of a lot of people.
Countering a Phoenix Splash into a Styles Clash was quite special, I have to say. So the rest of the card didn't stand out for me. And then we have the main event.
Can you see before you want the main event, can I ask you a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where does AJ stand in comparison to all the other greats?
Like historically?
Yes.
I think what hurts him is that he was in the minor leagues for so long.
And the crazy thing is, the stuff he'd done in TA or Impact was out of this world.
Sure, but you can say the same thing about Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and Nick and Matt Jackson and PWG.
I agree with that, and that's what's a shame, because it wasn't working. He was working with some great guys as well, and it's just unfortunate that. I don't want to say it was unfortunate he didn't go to WWE sooner, or maybe go to New Japan, either one of them sooner. But I think if the stuff we saw in Impact took place in either in Japan or in a WWE ring, I genuinely believe that we would have a proper conversation saying that he is the GOAT.
Well, let me flip it for you like this. If there was a amazingly great soccer player from America, and he destroyed Major League. He destroyed MLS. He was amazing. But he never played at Old Trafford. He never played in, he never had a big moment in the World Cup or even played in the World Cup. He never played in the best leagues in La Liga or the Premier League or anything. He just was comfortable being... you can't call him the best if he's not doing it against the best in the best place. That's why so many Americans, when they get good in soccer, go over to Europe, because you want to play in the best against the best with the best. So AJ was amazing, and AJ did things we've never seen. But because he did it in a place that did not foster or have the best against him and with him, I think that kills the perception of his career. many people, most people would say that, yeah, TNA's off cool, but there's a big portion of the fan base that knows AJ Styles from 2015, 16 on, when he debuted. I know it's ridiculous, but and maybe that's the traditional WWE fan in me, but you know.
And two things, that's sad, unfortunately. But I do agree with that. I think if he wasn't in TNA, or if he came to New Japan, or if he came to WWE sooner, the perception would be different. I think talent-wise, he's every bit as good as anybody I've ever saw. And the funny thing is, the person you kind of just described is Pele. Pele never left Brazil. He went out and played in America 1 year, or a couple of years, but obviously he done what he done in the World Cup.
Yeah, but he dominated in World Cups, though. So
yeah, and that's
he wasn't like a regular.
But yeah, like I said, I think talent-wise, he is every bit as good as anybody I've saw. Unfortunately, like, not everyone got to see him at his absolute best. We probably did a little bit in WWE, but like I said, his stuff in TNA, it was just fucking unbelievable as well.
It was. I never saw a lot of it, but what I did see was quite incredible.
Oh, it really was. It was just, I absolutely loved those X Division matches.
Mm-hmm.
There's a match he had at Lockdown against Abyss, and the beginning of this was still the beginning of TNA when they still had the 6-sided ring, and Lockdown was a pay-per-view where they had every match was a cage match. And before the match starts, Abyss comes out, AJ bounced off the ropes and does the plancha through the cage door onto him outside. Then as they're fighting, Abyss throws AJ into the barricade. It's the old steel grate barricades. AJ slides under the grate barricade, then springboards off the barricade, hits him with the phenomenal forearm. I've never seen no shit like that. Like, he was absolutely on another level.
Mm-hmm.
So
I lost it halfway through describing that. That sounds like a very intricate set of moves that he pulled off there.
Oh, he was special. So Clive, sorry, we're going on to the main event.
Yes, right. Online, in Twitter, Seth Rollins has been getting quite the feedback on his performance online in general and stuff like that. In the ring or on screen, Brock Lesnar, although despite his elevated spot in the card, Seth Rollins probably felt as if he'd hit rock bottom as far as how destroyed he was at the hands of Brock Lesnar 2-3 weeks in a row. And I thought, here we go, we're going to just get the same old shit again. And I was convinced that Brock Lesnar was winning. But the very second that Seth Rollins stood on his feet following a German suplex, I was pumped, because for me that was a callback to WrestleMania 31. Sorry, the Raw after WrestleMania 31, where Brock Lesnar comes for Seth Rollins with a German suplex and he lands on his feet. Later on in the match, where he does the dive from the turnbuckle onto Brock through the table, that was a callback to Royal Rumble 2015.
Where it all started, yeah.
Exactly, where it all started, where Seth Rollins was on the rise to become the most talked about wrestler in the company. And at WrestleMania, where he was the next superstar, lowercase s superstar, not only Lorcan superstar. His Seth Rollins' stock was not higher than it was those first few months, and it was as if his character had to dig deep into what made him who he was in the first place, and as if he thought, right, he said it, although it was a terrible, dreadful promo last week, he said, I've got nothing left, this is all I've got, and he had to channel when he was at his best to get rid of Brock. And that was like total kayfabe for me, storyline stuff, and I really, really loved this match. It's one of the best matches I've seen from both guys in a long, long time.
Why did you think the promo was bad? I'm curious. It
was just That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, fair enough. Great analysis, by the way.
It's just that's what it felt like. It was as if, because when this programme started again, I thought, right, we're maybe going to see Seth Rollins counter the German suplex, and he never did it, but he did it finally. I thought, here we go. This is going back. This is what this long-term booking thing's all about that I've been poking fun at for the last few weeks. They tapped into it, and it's been 4 years that Seth Rollins has finally managed to get rid of the spectre of Brock Lesnar. For now, but that was just one of those character arcs that I really appreciated, and it was quite the satisfying win for me, I must admit.
And it was right. It was the right move. It was the right time. Brock loses no steam. Seth probably needed the rub because Seth is great, but I think we've all accepted that Seth is a top guy, but he needs, like a lot of top guys historically don't need anything. They stand alone, right? Even Becky to an extent stands alone. Seth needs something to keep him there. Mm-hmm. There's something missing in his character that if he's not in the perfect or the best or the most scripted situations, he gets lost. True. So he needed that Brock win because think about it, and this is how you know a wrestler had a great moment in match. They booed him coming out. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the night, he got standing ovation.
I just find it funny that Public Enemy #1 for the last month or so ended up putting on, personally, the most exciting match out of the whole weekend, Takeover included. And this guy's been getting shat on all over the place on Twitter, but that was a pretty cool moment.
Well, man, forget Seth. Look, I know you guys are notoriously the show that did a whole show on Fuck Brock. Can we get this man his flowers?
I would give him his flowers, but I won't throw shit.
Hell no, fuck Brock.
All right.
Listen.
Well, there you go.
Like I said, I done like a complete 180 on Brock at the Royal Rumble when he took on Finn. I have no idea why and why it was that particular match. And I don't hate or dislike Brock as much as I used to. I don't want him with the title. I never will. But let's say the annoyance or the anger or the hatred or whatever towards Brock in general isn't as strong as it once was. It is now. Let's say I kind of enjoy watching the guy.
I will never publicly say I was wrong.
Because I don't think we were.
No.
At the time when we spoke about, I think a lot of the things we addressed at the time were correct. And now, because he's featured a bit more, now he's appearing more on TV, he's having a few more matches. Like, I mean, he was going like 3-4 months at times without even appearing.
I know. I genuinely think he has appeared in 2019 more than he has any other year that he's been back, and we're not even finished the year. So that's an argument I can't use as much anymore. The stuff with the Ghetto Blaster, Money in the Bank briefcase, that did humour me. He's played his part well, and see the bit where he lifted up the bandages and swung Seth about the place. That was barbaric. So, like I said, I'm not going to come out and publicly apologise for my stance on it, but I won't be as hard on it. I'll just leave that to you to decide how I feel about it. But that was I was sports entertained, out my nut, come the end of SummerSlam, put it that way.
Well, the job was done.
It was done.
The job was done, yeah. And the role's different. The one thing you got to give Brock credit for is whatever role he's asked to do, he plays it extremely well. And now that he is a giving beast, as Mr. Heyman would say, Hey man, job well done. Now let's go ahead and see this MMA fight between him and Bobby Lashley. Give it to me.
Big Robert. I don't know about you guys. I've not got much else to add about SummerSlam. So if there's anything,
I have a question for you both.
Okay.
Before we obviously move on to what took place on Raw, I'm sure you've got a few things to say about that. Right, so first thing, I wasn't a huge fan of the way Orton's Kofi ended. It was just basically a rehash of AJ's Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that you kind of want to keep the feud going. And how you can't really do that if Kofi wins clean. And the only way you might have done it is if, like, maybe if the ref took a bump and then Orton hits an RKO, but no one's there to count. But they generally only really do that kind of stuff for a babyface. Is Kofi's title reign, is he... I think we've addressed this. Is he too dominant? I'm seeing all sorts of crap on Twitter saying he's too dominant of a champion, and a lot of people are saying things along the lines like, "How can we take him? We can't really take him serious as a champion when you look at him because Orton was bigger and thicker than him, etc., etc." Are we still in the day and age where we expect women or men to look a certain way physically to accept him as a dominant champion?
It's an argument I've not got any time for it. I hate it because beanstalks can be chopped up. Chopped
that
down.
was deep. That's a bar. You just spit a bar. The beanstalks can be chopped up. Oh, man.
Chopped up and chopped down. So we've seen it many times. David and Goliath stories in wrestling are still... I mean... Look at the Kalisto and Braun Strowman stuff.
No. Cut it.
I'll go one step further, right? And it's not even going to be about wrestling. It's an actual fucking combat sport. Manny Pacquiao started off as like a fucking bantamweight and mowed through 8 divisions, like beating the living hell out of guys that are bigger and thicker than him, quote unquote. Like, I know De La Hoya was weight drained, right? But Clive, this is going to mean nothing to you. But he literally obliterated Margarito. He went through Hatton, even though Hatton was like same height, but he was a little bit thicker than him. And then you go and look at Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather took on guys that are bigger than him. Corrales, Canelo, De La Hoya. You then go look at someone like... Fine, Roy Jones jumped up to heavyweight and even only took on John Ruiz, but he still jumped up to a heavyweight, a bigger, thicker guy than him. And then if you want to go into MMA, fucking Royce Gracie was just taking guys out that were like 10 times bigger than him. Like, see, at the end of the day, size doesn't matter if the person standing across from you is unbelievably skilled.
Well,
if it can happen in a legit fucking combat sport, then it's going to happen in wrestling.
I hate to throw some salt in your urn brew, but you're right. But to be fair, speaking of the boxing, the guys you mentioned, Pacquiao and Mayweather to be specific, like bantamweight to welterweight is like 20 pounds, like 30 pounds. So it's not a big difference.
Manny by nature, and just to look at him, is small, he's not. He was
amazingly small.
And I think if you look at Mayweather and Corrales towered over him. Even I know Canelo was kind of green, but Canelo was bigger and thicker than him as well.
Canelo's a thick dude though for his weight class.
He's huge.
Your point is absolutely right. But here's the answer. Here's the answer. Wrestling fans, right? Take away real sport, just under the guise of wrestling fans. Did any wrestling fan say Daniel Bryan wasn't a deserving champion?
Don't think so.
Did any wrestling fan say AJ Styles wasn't a deserving champion?
Nope.
Did any wrestling fan say Finn Balor wasn't a deserving champion?
Yes, Carl.
You just took the words right out of my mouth there.
Okay, well, Carl doesn't matter because he doesn't listen to this show. So, but What do those three guys have in common?
Pigmentation, perhaps?
There it is. That's the problem. Just call a spade, bro. Or better yet, call a pancake a pancake. Is what it is, bro.
I think even if you like, I don't want to say you take the colour of skin and race out of it, because that was like a huge thing with Kofi going on to win the title, because it was alluded to time and time again. But Byron Saxton had that great line: guys like us need to work like twice as much to get like half as far.
Yeah,
that's right. So it was never outright came out and said that you don't deserve this because the colour of your skin, but it was always alluded to that you're not good enough because the colour of your skin. Like, if you just look at his matches, and I think we've said it before, he's not mown through the opposition. It's like they're going back and forth. So not done for a long time. He's literally been taken to a limit by a lot of these guys. I've got no issue with his title reign whatsoever.
None.
He's had the best babyface title reign I think we've had in almost half a decade, maybe more. The problem though is you can't have two problems. Like, okay, Brian is small but he's talented, right? AJ is small but he's talented. Like, the problem with Kofi is he's small and he's black. So like, it's the multiple, and he twerks with pancakes inside his belt. So like every single box that they can check that means he's not good, they check. And take away all biases. Allow yourself to really be free of any racial bias, any wrestling bias, anything. If you look at Kofi Kingston and look at Randy Orton, Randy looks like a champion. And so he just looks, completely look. Now, has nothing to do with merit, has nothing to do with talent, just looks. So people can always use those excuses. Well, Kofi got a bird chest. Well, Kofi don't look like this. Well, look, man, Kofi's had one of the best January 7-8 months runs we've ever seen.
Yep, agreed.
I think it's about it. I'm steadfast in my belief that he holds it till WrestleMania, or at least Royal Rumble.
I think the Brock Lesnar's coming for him once Fox TV starts.
See, I'm just not to believe that.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Really, I don't want him to go Brock and Roman again. I don't want them on the same show.
I love how people are so terrified of this. And it's realistic, I understand. But, like, that is a real fear. Like, it's like IWC's phobia right now.
Like, because, see what it is? I don't even think many of our matches have been, like, a disappointment. Like, what WrestleMania was it? Was it last year? Yeah, last year, was it? Was it last year?
It was 31 and 34.
Right, so 31 was the cash-in.
The cash-in, Seth Rollins, yeah.
34, I think that's what's left a bit taste in a lot of people's mouth, because I think we were all kind of convinced in ourselves that Roman was going to win and go over, and then you're like, shit, and then they'd done it again at SummerSlam, they'd done it in Saudi Arabia and stuff, and it's like you said, if it was a couple of years further down the line, I think, alright, okay, we've not saw this in about 4 or 5 years, but it still feels really, really fresh. And besides, I want to see fucking Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
I'm down for that. That would be... Look, well, okay, I don't know where you're going next, Mr. Moderator, but may I journalism for a second?
Go for it.
All I care about at WrestleMania right now, today, on this day, the Lord's Day, Allah's Day, is The Fiend versus Aleister Black, undefeated versus undefeated, and Tampa. I need that in my veins. The journalism was to talk about The Fiend. We haven't talked about him yet. That was journalism.
I'm waiting for The Fiend Mark himself to come in here.
Yeah, you don't need to say it, Clive, because I know you love his entrance, the music.
Not yet.
What do you mean?
the music did nothing for you? The music is fire.
The head's lantern did a lot for me, but apart from that, nope, not yet. It's no Ascension.
So go on YouTube and listen to it properly.
Wait, stop. He said it's no Ascension. Boy, the bias is real in you, young Kinsella.
So, yeah, that match went exactly how it should. Remember the podcast I said a few weeks ago, someone must die? I thank you, Finn Balor.
For dying.
His sacrifice for his sacrifice.
Do you know, honestly, I wouldn't even let him get a single punch in either. But, yeah, that match went the way it should have went. You had to break him in. I'm going to keep calling him Bray instead of The Fiend. You have to break him in and just look utterly dominant. And the great thing about Finn was standing outside the ring and he was looking at the Fiend and he was like, what the fuck is this?
Yes.
It's going to lead to the Fiend versus a Demon, I'm sure. And see if the Fiend doesn't go over, they're not going to be happy. I remember I was texting Murray. I think this was like in the midst of the whole Firefly Funhouse promos, and so he still hadn't debuted. And I specifically remember saying to him, if he doesn't come back and like legitimately like kill someone, or like along the lines that just looks so dominant and destroy someone on his return, I may stop watching. Like that's how much I love Bray. And like I say, it was booked to absolute perfection. Loved it, loved every second of it, and that entrance was just unbelievable. And the great thing about the entrance, and I'm going on and on here, was that the commentators didn't utter a single word during it. Everybody was just kind of in awe of it.
What I liked about when you said Finn was outside saying what the hell just happened here, that's what happened when he made his first takeover entrance. Remember I kept pestering you about that entrance at Takeover Revolution. I thought, what the hell is this?
The demon entrance.
Yep, he was getting holy shit chants, and it's come full circle. It's the Fiends now.
Oh, that's a good point.
I know it is.
Did you go to journalism for that?
No, I went to a Catholic school.
Oh, good old Catholic school. So did I.
Did you really?
Yeah, I went to Catholic school.
That's dope. That's cool. I did too. So
I think
it makes a lot of sense between us three. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My son goes to a Catholic school, and a younger one as well. And it's not for religious reasons.
Sure.
But the Catholic school round our way is better than other schools. It's just always has been, like grade wise, etc. And now we're touching on religious aspect, but you can listen to the Ricky and Clive Religion show that comes out that's debuting soon.
Every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock.
and then Friday as well, because that's a lot day.
Can I say something funny real quick? I want you to finish, Clive. But and maybe this is a conversation to have off the pod, but do your kids, and I'm not trying to be like legitimately, do your kids get confused? Because I'm Baptist, and so Baptists and Catholics are still Christian, but like I was so confused with stuff. Like I would come home and I would say a prayer, and then my mom would be like, "That's wrong." No, it's not. So I can only imagine when it's two completely different ideologies.
Ricky, the question's for you.
You want to talk about after the pod? We can. I don't want to. That might be too personal. I apologize for bringing it up, but
because I remember, like, and we're going completely off wrestling here, but the first time he went to the church, the school actually asked me, "Do you mind if he goes?" And I was like, "No, he can go, but he'll just kind of sit at the back like I used to do, and he doesn't get involved in anything." And I explained to him, I was like, "Oh, that's like their version of a mosque." And he was like, "Okay, so what do I do?" I was like, "No, you just sit. That's all he does." But I do remember the first, like, after a couple of weeks of being in school, we were sitting at the dinner table. I think, Clive, I might have told you this. We were sat at the dinner table, and he started saying something, and I wasn't there, and my wife goes, come here, sing what you were just singing. And he was like, and I was like, what did you sing? He was like, oh, it's just our school song. He was saying the Hail Mary.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
and it stopped, and I was, because I must have had a look at my face, and I was like, oh no. And he was like, is that bad? Should I not have done it? I was like, no, it's fine, don't be daft, it's not bad, it's not bad. You don't, but I was like, when they say that, you say your prayer. And he was like, okay. And then that's it. So, but he, like I said, it was funny at the time, and he thought he was going to get into trouble. He was like, no, you're bloody 4 years old, you're hardly going to get into trouble for that.
That's so genuine, man. I love that. That's great. It's all you. I'm sorry for changing the subject. Please forgive me.
I couldn't journalism back into wrestling after that one.
Yeah, I don't think there's no segue.
All I was going to say is maybe I'll have to have a listen properly to the Fiend's music, but it was all right. The whole entrance.
Well, like I said, they've released it, so you'll be able to listen to it on YouTube. It's, like I said, it's not the kind of music I love it, and I just thought that kind of music straight up your alley.
Maybe it will be.
And also shout out to, I want to get his actual Twitter handle.
The band?
I can't find it. No, keep going, it's fine. I'll find it.
Speaking of bands, Slipknot are like the most popular band in the world at the moment.
They just released a new CD, yeah, so that's normally the biggest sound.
They're possibly going to be number one in the UK with their album.
Probably America too.
Mm-hmm.
Really? So yeah, it was. Here we go. I wanted to find the tweet. It was Daily News. I actually started laughing when I read this. He was like, "I wish WWE would hurry up and bring out the Bray Wyatt song so I could break my neck." Like implied it's going to be motioned. No, right, yeah, that's. I don't think I've got anything else to say about SummerSlam.
There's only really two other things I was wanting to bring up tonight. A return of a certain wrestler on Monday night. Rance.
Oh, wrestler. I'm confused. Oh, wrestler. Oh shit! That did happen Monday, didn't it?
So what just happened there?
I couldn't remember what wrestler it was, but
France's mind went blank.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised she was able to make it Monday to Toronto, because I thought she was going to DC or wherever, Chicago, for their first show for the A&W people.
Yeah. A&W. Great root beer, by the way.
That's only 2 weeks away. 31st is going to be ridiculous, by the way. You know that?
I know.
We've got All Out. We've got the New Japan show, which it was at Royal Quest. We've got NXT UK Takeover. We've got, for us over here, it's Rangers Celtic as well.
Are you going to Cardiff? Are you going to Cardiff?
No.
So I was considering going. The problem was you would need to stay overnight. You can't make that drive back up the road at that time of night. That's like a 7-hour drive. And then by the time I kind of decided, alright, do you know what, let's just do it. And then it was Clive actually told me, like, did you know it's sold out?
Yeah.
So I was like, I decided like a day or two before that I wasn't really going to go.
There's still
I was planning to go, but it was sold out kind of thing. But I was like, so be it. Like I was kind of happy in a sense it was sold out, so I didn't need to. I didn't go, screw it, let's just go waste some money.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much waste, but spend unnecessary money.
Well, Joe Coffey versus Dave Mastiff is a priceless. That's priceless.
It's fucking hard so far.
I've seen a picture of Austin Theory at the Performance Centre.
Austin Theory he just signed today.
Officially.
Good
for him. When do you think we'll see him then?
Not too long. Probably he'll definitely He might even show up at these next tapings. You know how they do. They'll let you come in and wrestle one match under your name. And then you go away for a few months. But he's got to finish up his dates in Evolve because he's still the Evolve and WWE champion.
So he is. That's right.
Excuse me. Yeah. Weren't we probably talking about like a woman taking off her wig and that being the big moment of the night?
Well, first of all, Natalia was... The fourth wall was down with that part when she was saying it's been a year since her dad died and she had to collect herself and she was getting cheered. Then Sasha Banks' music hits and 2 minutes later they're saying thank you, Sasha. What sort of cold-heartedness is that?
Well, Kath, we demand some answers from you.
For me?
You must,
Kathy.
From Kath. Yep. Oh. You must answer on behalf of your countrymen and women.
Well, the coldest part was Natty started crying, talking about her dead dad and the dream that he came and talked to her. And the crowd started booing her.
Oh, lovely.
Rance, I've never seen you so...
Rance is just loving every second of this.
I know.
Heartless.
So's she.
Gosh. So I have a legit question. Did either of you pop when Sasha's music hit?
No, because I knew it already.
How did you know?
Because I just saw notifications all over the place saying that Sasha's returned.
Oh, you didn't see it live?
I didn't see it live, so I didn't pop.
I did pop because not when I did see it, but I popped when I saw the message as well, and the message is from one of the people on the show right now.
What?
And it wasn't Clive's message.
Oh, was it the Invisible Man from GCW?
Oh Lord! Did you see Cornette went off on that?
Yes. And the cold part was, so Mance Warner is the guy that took the bump, and he was like, "Yo, Mance, I actually have respect for you. I guess I got to talk more shit about you now." It's crazy. But yes, I popped for Sasha only because it was a genuine shock.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because we've said it for weeks on weeks, right? She's coming back. I was messaging Jeremy, aka the boss, and I says to him, was it on Saturday or Sunday? I was like, oh, by the way, Sasha's returning soon. But I think I've been saying that for a while though, where it eventually just had to come true. Just like my Kurt Angle prediction.
Listen,
I used to say week in, week out, Kurt Angle was about to return, and about 3 years later he did return.
Oh, or like Clive, every week, World Championships are going to change hands on TV?
Yes, yes.
The IC title will change hands soon. That's fact.
The what?
The IC title.
Who is IC champ right now? Oh, Shinsuke, yeah.
Nakamura.
Hopefully to Ali.
Yep.
But yeah, sorry, Sasha Banks. I like, it's good that she's back. Like, I don't think having her in the women's division doesn't make it stronger. I'm happy she's back.
I will say this. I'm happy that the will she wants she is over. I'm happy that the pouting is over and that she's coming to work, because when she's in that ring, she's an amazingly compelling and interesting character and wrestler. And Becky needed somebody of that same ilk to play off of. And I think the best part is she's not Sasha who wants to hug people and have fun and, hey, I'm the best. No, like she's back to being heel. Like she's back to, like, she's about that business. And she needed that.
This is the first time we've seen Sasha on the main roster as a heel outside of her, like, kind of debut a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got 3 points for this one. One, the rivalry is going to be really good. I think there will be a really good back and forth, both online and on screen. 2, I'll be really, really interested to see how fans take to Becky Lynch now that Sasha's back, because Becky Lynch has been flavour of the year, basically. That has been a year to the date, near enough, where fans have been on her side relentlessly and unrepentantly. Sasha's back. She's the one getting the cheers now, so how are people going to start taking to Becky? That'll be an interesting observation. 3, I'm fine with Sasha back. If she has been off because she feels she's been undervalued and she was wanting to make the return when on her terms, then I don't want to see one single botch. I don't want to see one single failed suicide dive. I don't want to see one single breaking of character during an emotional promo where she starts crying. She better bring her A game, because if she doesn't, then she's not getting any love from me. If she thinks she's that good, then show me that you're that good. Stop botching every other match.
Clive has spoken.
I'm telling you.
You know she's gonna buy a suicide dive next match, right?
I just want her to take the title from Becky now.
She might well do.
I'm kind of done with the Becky thing. I was like, we were never on the hype train, and like, don't get me wrong, like she's been over, and I even popped myself when she came down for the Royal Rumble and stuff. But fuck, she's been protected as hell for the last year. Like, she has literally overcome everything. Like, and I know, like, probably the whole underdog. I get it all. I get it. But whenever she faced adversity, she would just overcome it with, like, genuine ease. For fuck's sake, she was walking about, like, half a leg at the Royal Rumble and she still overcame Charlotte. The amount of times she overcame Charlotte, like, I'm kind of done with the whole Becky Lynch thing, and I'm hoping this next pay-per-view that Sasha does just take the title from her.
Fantasy booking. Can I fantasy book for just 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Becky beats Sasha for this next run. Becky holds the title going into Mania. Ronda returns, gets her Mania match with Becky. They have their one-on-one at 36. Ronda wins to get her big moment at WrestleMania. Ronda and Becky then have mutual respect because you know how fighters and wrestlers are after big matches. And then they hug, boom, and Shayna makes her appearance to take out Ronda because Ronda sold her soul when she made up with Becky. And that's how Shayna comes to the main roster the night after WrestleMania.
Oh. And then Ronda leaves after WrestleMania, though.
Ronda leaves after Shayna beats her the next couple pay-per-views. I
can't have Shayna coming up and losing straight away.
I think that's.
No, I completely agree.
I think that's a long way away for Shayna. I think she's done enough in NXT.
She has, right? Sorry to cut you off, but the problem now is Shayna needs to lose the title clean to someone, though.
Well, no, she doesn't, because Asuka did it, and Asuka should have.
But I think that was done because of her injury, etc. But I think in an ideal world, you want to give someone that rub. I would like to see someone, and the problem is, like, who is it going to be now? I think for a number of times we kind of it might be Bianca, or it's not going to be Bianca, right? Is it going to be who will be next? Is it going to be Mia Yim? No, it's not going to be Mia. Could it be Candice? No idea. It wasn't Kairi Sane. So I think when she does eventually
it was at one point for Candice.
It was, and then Shayna won it back. I think I would rather Shayna drops it to someone as opposed to just forfeits it and goes up. I know that kind of some people might not like it, but I just think, just imagine if Shayna does hold it again for another 6 months, like that moment of her losing it again is going to be pretty big. But the problem is who is it?
Well, okay, the same logic. Shayna loses at TakeOver Tampa.
Yeah, and it debuts. Yeah. I can go on board with that.
And that gives you 6 months to build somebody up, whether it's Bianca or Casey or whoever it is. It gives you 6 months. Dakota Kai, wouldn't that be a nice little circle?
No,
I hate her too. I hate her too, but still, that's because the whole bullying started with Dakota, and Dakota ending it is a nice circle. I don't like her, but it's a nice circle.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like in what Rance said was that Becky holds the title for another 6 months. I can't fucking watch that any longer.
No, I'm
fine with it. As I don't like her either. You know I can't stand her, but I'm fine with it if she has somebody to work with of her ilk. See, the problem with Becky has. Yeah, the problem with Becky has been she hasn't been working with people who are comparable to her. Sasha is comparable to her, and Sasha is a bad face talker, but a decent to good heel talker.
I think she's a very good
I don't know who it was. It was either one of you that one of you says that, oh no, I wasn't happy with Sasha, or maybe it was Kyle that she never went back and took, like, she gave the little girl in the crowd glasses or something, but she never went back and took it back off her. Like, that would have been just classic heel Sasha. I don't know, I just don't see Sasha coming back and suddenly losing and sorry, not winning title, like, kind of almost straight away. Like, because you would imagine that has to be one of the things that she said, when I do come back, I expect a title or a title.
Yeah, I can see it happening soon.
But I do agree with the whole Becky Lynch thing. I think her title reign kind of has been underwhelming, but purely because she hasn't been in the ring with someone who's quite on her level. And the first time it's someone that she gets on a pay-per-view to have a match with someone on her level, Natalya. I'm not saying Natalya's on her level, but Natalya's a competent wrestler. That it was a pretty fairly decent match.
Part of me wonders if Becky will keep it because she's on the front cover of the video game thing.
Possibly.
Well, it's going to be an interesting rivalry. I will be looking forward to their eventual matchup, possibly Night of Champions.
That'll be the next pay-per-view. Is that a few weeks time?
5 weeks.
5. It should be. Most likely it will be.
Plenty of time.
But the other thing, King of the Ring was announced as well.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to serve at the altar of King Murphy?
I've been serving there for a long time. I know it does. It does have to mean something.
It's
the one thing that has me positive about it is that it's going to go all month, and the finals are going to be crowned at Clash of Champions. So that gives me a little hope that this will mean something, and it's not just putting something together for putting it together.
Good.
So who wins it?
Oh, God knows.
So I'm gonna tell you, like I said on.
I have a theory as well.
I'm gonna tell you, like I said on Raw Reaction the other night. I'm gonna tell you who should win, who I want to win, and who will win. Who should win is Baron Corbin because it fits the character. Who I want to win, of course, is Buddy Murphy. But tell me that Kevin Owens winning this thing and having his Stone Cold King of the Ring moment with his promo isn't with him basically being Canadian Stone Cold right now wouldn't match. I think Kevin Owens wins this thing.
See, that's where I would like that. I would really like that. My final four, right? Owens, Mustafa Ali, Andrade, and Drew McIntyre. KO beats Andrade. Drew beats Mustafa Ali. Shane McMahon costs Kevin Owens, and Drew wins it. And it prolongs that feud.
Oh, please, no.
But where's
you say no, but it's going to. It's going to go on.
But I'm confused. Where's Murphy?
He is carrying someone's bag.
He is in jail for attempted manslaughter of the big dog.
The big dog.
Like I said, it has to mean something. Like I always say, like I will watch every single Battle Royal Royal Rumble just because I'm a mark for that type of match. But the reason why the WrestleMania ones kind of suck is because they don't mean anything. So I'm hoping at least I don't need like for this person to suddenly get uploaded into the title picture, but at least elevate them potentially up the card, but just don't have them coming out in a robe and a crown. I don't want to see that. I just wanted to see them being featured a little bit more and pushed, but I says it just has to mean something.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be a good month for wrestling.
Yes, very much so. Looking forward to all these fresh matchups.
Definitely.
Anything else you guys want to add? Because the quiz of tonight is themed around our last topic.
Oh, King of the Ring?
It is, yes. Anything else you want to say before we bring things to a close soon?
One thing I'll just quickly, I'll keep this short. The G1 was a fucking slog. Slog. Not because of the standard of the wrestling or anything. It was just because there was so much of it, and it's difficult to keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like you say, the three of us, we all work full time, parents, so you kind of need to try and fit it around all that. I loved it. The final, Ibushi versus Jay White, was that. I think it might have been the best match of the tournament, but it wasn't my favourite match. My favourite match was still Okada Tanahashi from night one. I've given my reasons in previous podcasts why that was my favourite match. And it almost kind of touches into like Rance's preference of like wrestling. Like, I was caught up in the whole entertainment kind of thing. I was caught up in the whole, wow, two legends, two heroes, two icons. Like, it just felt like a big time match, as I said before. G1 was awesome.
Shout out to and can so my one takeaway is this: can we show some love for the fact that two men who almost died both got physical this weekend? Edge and Shibata. That's amazing.
Yes, because Shibata wasn't just a one move. Like, he hit several kind of.
He got beat down
kind of as well. Yeah. So
he got beat down, bro. Yes.
He was like what was it? What was it? Oh, it's not a hematoma. It was, what was it he had?
It was a subdural hematoma. That's what it was.
Yes. So, but on the basis of, on the back of like legit headbutting people, and it's like, Clive, I don't know if you ever saw it, but it's kind of sickening to watch. Like, you hear the actual thud, and it's just, I don't know what he was thinking when he done stuff like that. But yeah, like, that was shocking. And the Edge thing, like, see, as you're watching it, you're kind of like, is he about to do something? Because he didn't go towards the corner to get the mic or anything, and all of a sudden he does it, and you're like, oh shit. And I know, like, some people might say that in terms of Edge, like, for me, you can't hit a spear safely, considering where his injuries were. Like, if it was like a leg issue or whatever, but his was the neck, and like, at the end of the day, like, you're still running in and kind of rubber tackling someone and going to make some sort of contact with like the top of your shoulder, neck kind of area. So, like, that really stunned me, the whole Edge thing, and like I said, what we were talking about in WhatsApp rants, it was like, it leads you to believe that he could well have been cleared.
He's about to get that Saudi bag.
Yes, because there's no time there's just no way. Okay, that if he's not been cleared, not a chance.
Watch this, Rick. Hey, Clive, you're going to watch Edge if he wrestles again in Saudi Arabia?
A legend. You don't like the legends. Old timer taking up someone else's spot.
Listen.
But he's your favorite wrestler.
That's the very reason why I don't want to see him put his mobility on the line. Like, it's not even Saudi Arabia, it's not even a legend coming back. That, I'll be honest, remember, Rance, how you felt about Daniel Bryan returning? I felt like that exact same way for Edge. I didn't want to see that. I don't want to see it. He is one of my all-time favourites, and we saw with the likes of what happened to Paige, one thing can happen and you're done for. He dealt with like temporary paralysis in his arms during matches towards the end. I'm not here, like, a hard no. Please, Edge, please don't do it.
See, that's nice, but fuck that, I'm here for it.
No, just I wouldn't be able to watch it. I would be too uncomfortable.
Hey, I'm with you. I don't want to see him do it, but bro, that Saudi money long, bro. That Saudi money is long.
We might not want him to do it, but if he's willing to do it, then I might watch.
So, I'm gonna watch because I watch everything. But I don't want to see it. Like Clive, I don't want to see it.
I'll watch depending on what he's about to do, or I might watch just purely because it is Edge. Like I said, and I've always said when it comes to the Saudi shows, it's nothing about boycotting. It's just a case of, is there anything that interests me on the show? And if it's not, I'm not even going to bother watching it.
No,
but for the Edge one, I'll probably tune in.
That made me uncomfortable and sad. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, look, you said it perfectly. Y'all remember my epic rants I had on Daniel Bryan coming back. Mm-hmm. I know genuinely how you feel. I do, my brother. I do.
Edge, but to me, Edge always kind of gives the impression that like he's not daft. He's aware of things, and like he's not like it doesn't seem to me like kind of person who's going to be like, oh well, obviously there's a risk something could happen, but like for me it was never. If he was given a proper green light by several different doctors, I think only then would he have ever returned. If there was any kind of doubt, I don't think he ever would have returned, because like I said, he's done so much after wrestling as well. So, I don't know, there's always a risk and a danger, but you know, it must have, they've had to have been given a green light.
Please don't, Edge. Right.
Well, yeah, positivity, man. Come on, positivity time.
Yep. Let's get the power of positivity and go with a wee quiz time, shall we?
Yep.
It's fucking quiz time with Ricky and Clive and friends. A fucking WWE quiz.
So this week it's a wee King of the Ring one. Sorry, I lost my bearings there. It's a King of the Ring quiz theme. Sorry, I'm very distracted right now trying to find the right page on Google Docs. It's not playing well with me tonight. So, 10 questions. Now, you may have noticed we've got a couple of Skype issues tonight, so I might be a bit delayed with getting who the correct buzzer was and stuff, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But, Rance, what's your buzzer?
So, there's a certain wrestler who wrestles in Japan who seems to be hated by the booker, the owner, and the company. But nonetheless, he's still one of my favorite wrestlers. And that man's name is Naito Tetsuya. So I'm going to go with Tranquilo.
Okay. Ricky?
I injured mine. Mine is now going to be Let Me In.
Okay. Right, you ready?
Yep.
Number 1, what was the main event of the 2002 King of the Ring pay-per-view?
Let Me In. I'm sorry, Tranquilo. My bad, yes.
Are you trying to give him points?
It was Rock and Brock.
No, it was not.
Oh, no, that was SummerSlam, but I gave it away for you. There you go.
Let Me In.
Ricky?
Takeover Triple H.
Correct answer. Number 2, what was the name of the pay-per-view that replaced King of the Ring after it stopped being a pay-per-view? So the last King of the Ring pay-per-view was 2002. The following year, in the same month, was...
I gotta guess. Tranquilo. I don't even remember my damn buzzer. Tranquilo.
Rance?
Was it the Great American Bash changed to the Bash?
No, it wasn't. Ricky?
2002? What month was it normally in?
June.
Was it always in... Nah, Let Me In.
Fully Loaded. Both of you are incorrect. The answer was Bad Blood.
It was in June?
According to the old Wikipedia, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, by the way, Wikipedia, stop fucking asking me for money. Like, whenever you go to Wikipedia, it says at the top, would you like to donate and give us some money? I'm like, no!
Do you know what Wikipedia is saying? Oh, Ricky, stop asking me for wrestling quiz questions. Wikipedia.
I'd read it.
Right.
It'd be better than fucking What Culture's quiz and What Culture's fucking website.
Oh, fuck What Culture with a big stick.
Remember we used to be on it all the time?
I know, I loved it and now I despise it. Right, number 3. Name the 2 wrestlers who have won King of the Ring 1 year and were then runners-up the year after. Do I need to repeat the question?
They won 1 year and then the next year they were the runner-up.
Yes.
So I can give you one. So Tranquilo, I'll give you one.
Okay.
Kurt Angle.
Have you got another one?
Oh, I gotta give the other one. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say Bret Hart.
Incorrect. Ricky, do you want the other point if you know it?
So Kurt Angle was correct.
Mm-hmm.
He won in 2000 and 2001 was the match with Shane.
Yep. I was going to say Austin, but I don't think so.
If it's who I think it is, who I was going to say before I said Brett, I'm going to be pissed off because I was going to say somebody else.
So it's either I don't even know if it is Austin. Don't think so. I have 2 in mind.
Pick one. It's 11 o'clock. Pick one. Did you say Randy Savage there?
Yes.
Correct answer. Well done.
Was it? Oh, okay. Good job. Look at you.
So,
Look, my first one, my other one was I was going to say Owen Hart, but I don't even know if Owen ever won it.
You did.
So
2 points to Ricky ahead of Rance with 1. Now, this might have a certain advantage for one of the participants tonight, this question. How many British wrestlers have won King of the Ring?
Oh, see, that's a trick question.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tranquilo.
Rance?
One has, but it's Regal. But one would think it's 2. No, 2 have. 2 have. 2. The answer's 2.
If you were a Roman soldier, you would actually be telling me 5 right now.
That was the joke at the beginning of the show. Well, it's 2, right?
Yep, correct.
yes,
Regal and Barrett.
because the third is Sheamus.
Yes, and he's
not. He's Irish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well spotted.
See, I was hoping you wouldn't have remembered the Barrett one.
Dog, it came to me last second, like I talked myself into it because I really forgot it.
So that's 2 points each. Which King of the Ring?
Oh, sorry, there you go.
Which King of the Ring had the famous electric chair stage? Which year?
Tranquilo.
Rance?
2001.
Correct. Oh, Rance is in the lead.
Well, that's my favorite match of all time, Shane and Kurt.
Yep.
So yes.
Number 6. We ready?
Mm-hmm.
Who did Ken Shamrock beat in 1998 to become King of the Ring?
$1998.
Let me in.
Ricky?
Rock.
Correct. 3 each. Oh, we've got a nail biter on our hands here. Number 7. Now think carefully of the wording, please. How many times has a Canadian been King of the Ring?
Like, legit Canadian, or you mean kayfabe Canadian?
They're not one and the same. Who would, no offence, but who would pretend to be Canadian? Right, I'm not meaning that. Right, Rance?
Tranquilo, it's 4.
Yes.
Let me in.
No, he's right. He's right. Would you like to elaborate?
Bret Hart won twice.
Yep.
Bret Hart twice, Owen Hart and Edge.
Well done. I meant no offence whatsoever to Canadians, but what would...
I mean, your question was how many Canadians have won it.
It wasn't the question, no. I said how many times...
What was the question?
How many times has a Canadian... See?
Canadian won it. The connection's getting bad tonight.
Number 8. What was the main event of the 1999 King of the Ring pay-per-view?
Oh, okay, I got a guess. Tranquilo.
Rance?
Was it the 1-on-2 handicap match between Austin and Kane and Undertaker?
No.
Oh no, it was the other one. Oh no.
Ricky?
It was Vince and Shane against Austin.
It was. Rance, your reaction there was my reaction when Roman Reigns kicked out of Buddy's Brainbuster last night.
Oh, I have brought shame to my house.
Rob, take tips. Rob, take tips. This is how you do it.
So is that 4-3 to you, Ricky?
I thought it was yeah, because we didn't get one. Yeah, it must be.
Number 9. Who was the runner-up in the 1991 King of the Ring?
Oh, fuck. So, no wonder I'm not going to King of the Ring. Oh, fuck. Go ahead, Rick. I'll go after you.
That was the year Brett won it the first year, wasn't it? Because he done 91 and then 92, or did he do 90 and 91?
91 and 93, there wasn't one in 92.
Shit. I'm a massive Bret Hart mark. You know this. He is my favourite, and he's the GOAT.
So what's your answer?
I know finals. I don't know in which order.
Go for one.
So guess one, and I'll guess after you because I have a guess, but I don't want to say it because it's going to be stupid.
Oh my goodness. Right, let me in.
Ricky?
I believe it was Bray's father.
It was IRS.
Oh, gee. And the other one was Bam Bam.
5-3. Rance?
Bret Hart mark.
Right, so, last one. It kinda doesn't matter, but we'll say it anyway. In order. So it can be first to last or last to first, but it has to be in order. Name the last 4 King of the Ring winners.
Let me in.
Ricky?
Oh, shit.
Ha! Ha ha ha!
Oh, I know the 3, but I don't know the... Oh. Right, so, most recent, we'll go Barrett, then Sheamus, then it was Willie Regal.
King Billy.
Oh, no, don't say that. Who was before Regal? Was it Booger? Booker T?
Bastion Booger?
I don't know, I said Booger. Was it Booker T?
It was.
Yes. That was this whole King Booker and Queen Sharmell nonsense.
Oh, I despised that. Oh, I hated it.
Oh, hell, King
Fuck's
Booker.
sake. That was 6-3 though. It ended up.
So, Rob, if you're listening, don't get any hope. Technically, you know what, Clive? Mm-hmm. This was a happy Eid Mubarak gift to my brother. Letting him win. So
Bob's not getting any gift.
So
it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus John Cena all over again.
The Rock versus John Cena.
And Rob, you're Brock Lesnar in this instance.
Oh, Brock.
I'm gonna get squashed. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm ready. You got me really. Now, see, losing gets me more into it. So now I'm into it.
Rance, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me always.
Would you like to plug your stuff?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So you can find me on Twitter at it's Ray Cash. I was gonna say something funny, I couldn't think of anything. REY as in Mysterio, CASH as in dollars. You can find The Edge at Outsiders Edge CS. Chairshot Radio at Chairshot Radio. The Chairshot at thechairshot.com, where you always use your head. I'm doing Chairshot dailies this week for Chairshot Radio. So Monday we did Takeover. Yesterday we did the G1. Tonight we got a little special something for you. So yeah, check it out. Listen, subscribe, rate, tweet, DM, carrier pigeon, write, snail mail, whatever you want to do. And most importantly, as my shirt says, listen to the best show on the interwebs, the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show with friends, aka with Rance.
Yep. If you squint.
Oh, and by the way, tomorrow night, Outsiders Edge, I believe it's a threesome. I hope again.
I have had rumors that Carl is landing tonight from Uruguay, so we might have him in studio for a show tomorrow. So we'll see.
Ricky, anything you'd like to add?
I don't think so.
Well, as Rance implied, you can via the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Maybe not the best show on the interweb, but we try our best.
Hell, we're not even the best show on our network.
That's true. We might be the best show of our county.
Oh, there's no. We're the best show in Scotland. There's no doubt about that.
That's true.
I don't know. There's a show a little further down. No, I'm playing. I'm joking.
You can find us on the Social Suplex Podcast Network, where you find other shows such as One Nation Radio, Keeping It Strong Style, Grown Men Watch This Shit, All Things Elite, Danny's Chop Shop, and Get in the Ring. Please go to the podcast app of your choice and give us a nice big 5-star review. Help out the algorithms and get us climbing up the charts. Wrestling Squared Circle Facebook group is where you can find us all. If you go to socialsuplex.com, you will get all the podcasts and the columns whenever I get to write them, whenever the fucking network works. If you want, you can subscribe to them and get them sent directly to your email. Powerslam.tv is the platform where if you put in the promo code Social Suplex, you can get a whole month's worth free of 4,000 hours of independent wrestling from around the world. ProWrestlingTees.net, go to the Social Suplex page and you will find some t-shirts. And we are at Ricky and Clive on Twitter, where you will get some breaking news such as this, gentlemen.
See, before you give out the breaking news, did you mention Keeping It Strong Style?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Just I felt you missed somebody out. Don't know who. Right, anyway, sorry, continue with breaking news.
Jimmy and Jay have decided on a name change for their group, their tag team.
Say that again, sorry?
Jimmy and Jay. They've decided on a new name for their tag team. They'll be called the Boozos.
fuck's sake, that's terrible.
Wah, 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 wah. That wasn't your best stuff, Clive.
And their finishing move will be it's a tandem move, the drunken driver.
That's even worse, bro.
I warned you at the start. I warned you.
You should have left it at the 5 joke, man.
That's not a wrestling one, though.
That's okay. Well, you know what you could have said? You could have said that Sean Spears, since now that WWE owns the copyright to the Perfect 10, he does this now. Y'all didn't see that, but the Skype video, they saw it. So
Sean Spears.
I'm sorry, as Carl calls him, super mega popular heel Sean Spears.
What's
that?
For Friday.
You're cutting out again.
I says I can't wait to hear Carl tomorrow night or on Friday morning.
Look, bro, don't build yourself up, because he'll no-show this bitch in a minute.
Yep. Don't get your hopes up. Don't believe the hype. Right, thank you.
Carl.
Thank you for listening.
You don't listen to this message, but anyway.
Can you stop interrupting? Thank you. Thank you for listening. Shut up. Right, I'm away. See you later. Night, night.
Thank you for listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.